Hey everybody, my name is Jansen. Today we're going to show you all how to take your front wheel off and access that front caliper. We're working on a Halcyon today, but you should be able to use the same process for all of the bikes. Alright, so to remove the front wheel, these are the tools you're going to need. You definitely need a 19mm socket or a wrench. You need a screwdriver, a pair of needle nose pliers. You'll might not need, but you'll most likely need a mallet, something to punch the axle through, and then a pry bar. I'm gonna assume that you have a service stand. It's kind of hard to do this without a service stand because you need to get that front wheel up. I'm gonna put the service stand on the cross member there on the foot pegs. All right. Once you get it up, it's going to be leaning forward. So just get something that weighs about 20 pounds, put it on the back, lift up the front wheel. So once you get the wheel up, first step is going to be to remove the cotter pin with needle nose pliers. Next step, we need to remove the nut off the axle here. So I'm going to grab a 19 socket with a ratchet and then a screwdriver so I can stop the other side from rotating. And of course, lefty tooty, lefty tooty, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Make sure you don't lose any of the washers. Should come out pretty easy. Should. Sometimes it helps if you lift on the wheel. Need to get them out. All right, so once the axle is out, you should be able to drop everything down. Be careful because your hall sensor, which is attached to your digital speedometer, is on the side here, as well as the caliper bracket. You don't want to pull in any wires or anything like that. Also, when you're dropping the front wheel, you've got 3 spacers. Just be mindful when you pull the wheel, if they fall off, keep an eye on where they go. So this is the spacer on the back side. It's the bigger one. And I like to just keep them in the wheel. And then the shorter ones on the front, on the rotor side. And now you've got access to your front caliper. So if you need to change brake pads or anything like that, you've got access to it here. It's going to be on this bracket. And then the last spacer goes in between the caliper bracket and the fork here. Once you've changed brake pads, done whatever you need to do, you do the exact same process in reverse. It sounds easy, but these can be kind of a pain to get back in. So there's a little, a little locator pin on the back of the fork here that goes right through the caliper bracket. You want to hook that there and let it rest on the frame itself. Okay, so I like to sit down and hold the wheel with my knees when I lift it up. When you're lifting up the wheel, be mindful of, again, the spacers, and then you want the rotor to go in between the 2 pads in the caliper. All right, so once you've got everything together, mostly lined up, I'm going to start putting the axle through the whole assembly. Don't forget your washers again. There's a hole in the caliper bracket that the axle goes through. Sometimes you might need to give it a little love with your mallet. All right, after you get through the caliper bracket, this is gonna be the fun part. You've got to get the spacer that goes in between the frame itself and the caliper bracket in this little gap. I recommend using a pry bar, using that to press against the wheel itself and the frame so you can stick that spacer up. So I'm gonna stick the pry bar under, and I'm gonna pull out. And it should go right in. Get your mallet after it's all lined up and hit it the rest of the way through. Washer. Nut. Get your 19mm socket and your screwdriver back out. Tighten it up. There's a hole in the axle that you want to line up with one of the gaps on that nut so you can stick the cotter pin through. A little more. Get your cotter pin. Maybe. All right, and that's it. And that's it. If you guys have any questions, you can send us an email at service@janusmotorcycles.com or give us a call. We're more than happy to help.